Hey everyone, welcome to the stream. If you're new here, my name's Brian Craig, and subscribe. You're going to love this channel, I'll tell you. And those of you that are already subscribers, good morning, of course, and welcome to you, and please like the video. We got a lot going on here. I'm going to start with Ron DeSantis. You know, I'm in Florida. I'm very lucky to live in Ron DeSantis's free Florida. You know, and this state, the state of Florida, is so much more conservative and red than people realize, okay? And yesterday, Governor Ron DeSantis signed the bill doing away with Disney's Reedy Creek city status. Disney will no longer have their own government next year. They can't do it instantly, but it's done. He signed it. Never seen government work so fast in my life as doing what they did with Disney. Now, of course, they're going to go to court and try to jam it up, but, you know, this speech yesterday that Ron DeSantis gave, this is a signing ceremony. It was here, not too far from me, actually, where this happened, and he gave a speech, Ron DeSantis, explaining the entire Disney situation and why the state of Florida is taking away their self-governing status, and it was just amazing. And I watched this yesterday. I thought I would share it with all of you, and we'll talk about it as we go through it. But I found it to be just absolutely amazing what he said. He is very, very smart. Ron DeSantis is going to be America's second MAGA president in 2028. There's no doubt about it. And I know you guys around America and around the world, you hear about Ron DeSantis and you see all these great things he's doing. But to live here in Ron DeSantis' free Florida and experience it, it's absolutely just an amazing thing. So this is the signing ceremony to take away the municipal status, the self-governing status of Disney, but he gave this speech beforehand explaining everything, so let's go through this. This is just great stuff. Great stuff. Governor Ron DeSantis.
So momentarily I'm going to sign the Stop Woke Act. We actually have two other bills.
The Stop Woke Act. Don't you like just the name of it, the Stop Woke Act? I love it.
Just did a special
By the way, this is the Lieutenant Governor of Florida, this lady in the blue dress.
Legislature just did a special session. They passed 3 pieces of legislation. I'm going to sign 2 of those here today. One was, we did a bill last year to combat censorship by big tech companies. And it did a couple things, but it provided Floridians the ability to sue big tech if you are deplatformed or censored based on viewpoint discrimination
under
consumer fraud theory, because they say they're open platforms and they steal your data and make a fortune off that. We also provided protection for political candidates so they can't deplatform you during the campaign and give the other party an advantage, which they probably would do. So anyways, there's a lot of good stuff. But, you know, look, this is something we knew big tech would litigate, and so they sued on it. It's now on appeal. They got a preliminary injunction from a district judge. It's on appeal. Next week is going to be the argument in the 11th Circuit. One of the provisions that got snuck into there at the end was a carve-out for anybody who operated a theme park, which is meant to protect Disney. And, you know, I was in a situation as governor, do I veto the whole bill over that and get nothing, or do I sign it in spite of that? So I thought it was better to sign it in spite of that, knowing it was going to be litigated and know we could tweak it later. But the district judge actually pointed to that provision as one of the reasons why he wanted to do the preliminary injunction. So it was a mistake for it to be done. The legislature has rectified that mistake, and they have repealed the Disney exemption to our big tech bill. That's important.
Isn't that amazing? Absolutely amazing.
The other bill will be dealing with a handful of what are called these special districts that were done prior to the ratification of our Constitution in 1968. And one of those districts is, unlike anything else that we know in the state of Florida, that was called Reedy Creek Improvement District. It actually gave Walt Disney Company their own government in Central Florida. And so they control, they're self-governing. They have the ability to build a nuclear power plant without state consent if they want. They don't have to go through permitting. They have all kind of different benefits. And it was really an aberration. No individual or no company in Florida is treated this way. And it's not right to have dissimilar treatment. But, you know, they had exercised a lot of power over the years. It was never anything that was debated. In fact, I don't even know that I knew the name of it prior to this becoming something that was live in the past few months. So we had to take a look at that, and we looked and we said, you know what? I mean, man, this is not right. But, you know, you did have the situation with our Parents' Rights and Education bill. And the thing is you know when you're doing some of this stuff, you know, what happens with leftists and media. They like to distort. They like to create false narratives. For whatever reason, Disney got on that bandwagon. They demagogued the bill. They lied about it, whatever, came out against it. You know what? My view is I was very clear about saying, you ain't influencing me. I'm standing strong right here, so it doesn't matter.
You know, one thing I noticed about this is really cool. This is Ron DeSantis' speech yesterday, as he's about to sign away the municipal status, the self-governing status of Disney. Look at these kids. They love him. Look at this. This kid here, right? He loves him. Now, this girl, she's not too happy. She looks like a teacher. But this kid is happy, smiling, loving what Ron DeSantis is saying. This kid's happy. This kid's happy. This kid's happy, right? And you notice about these kids, ethnically diverse. I don't know. Looks Hispanic. I guess he's Hispanic. She looks, I don't know, biracial. This girl's white. Ron DeSantis, these kids are going to be old enough to vote in 2028 when he becomes our second MAGA president. The Democrats, they've lost the youth vote, right? The MAGA vote, the Republican vote, is now the cool hipster vote. And these young people, they love Ron DeSantis, and they don't just love him. Look at how animated they get and excited they get when he hits on the key points of what he's doing against this woke garbage.
But, you know, I was very clear, but I was also saying, you know, I think it's interesting that you're getting involved in Florida protecting kindergartners from going to school without having transgender ideology in their curriculum, but you don't say anything about the Communist Party of China with all the atrocities they're committing, and you're making a fortune with them.
Okay, now this is a key point with Ron DeSantis, okay? Disney has their park in China, Shanghai Disney. And the way things work in China, China owns 51% of that theme park over there, the Disneyland over there. And Disney's partnered with them. And you never hear Disney's executives complain about the human rights abuses in China. And we know what those are. I don't need to go through them all.
You don't say things about other countries and their practices, but nevertheless, I mean, it's fine. And so we weren't going to let that deter us. No big deal. We signed the bill, and then, and incredibly, they say, we are going to work to repeal parents' rights in Florida. I'm just thinking to myself, you're a corporation based in Burbank, California, and you're going to marshal your economic might to attack the parents of my state? We view that as a provocation, and we're going to fight back against that. But honestly, even in spite of that, if none of that had happened, this is the right thing to do, just on the basis of those Zoom videos that you saw.
Remember those Zoom videos?
Expose these Zoom videos. If you guys haven't seen these videos, you need to watch these videos. These are videos of very high up people in this corporation in Disney, and they're talking about their intentional agenda to inject sexuality in the programming that's provided to our youngest kids of my age, 5, 4, and 2. They want that as part of Disney programming. You know, that is just fundamentally wrong.
Yeah.
And they have the freedom, I guess, to do what they want. But as a parent, I was very shaken by hearing that, because it's one thing to talk about legislation, and yes, they were wrong, yes, they did all that, but when you're talking about these acknowledgments and really the glee that these people had in these videos that they were going to get this stuff in, they were talking about concepts like pansexualism. I thought to myself, I don't know what that means, but I know I don't want my 5-year-old daughter to be taught it. And so it's really, really...
Now look, this is just so fascinating, watching these kids in the background, not just agreeing with Ron DeSantis, right? Not just agreeing with him, loving on him. They love him, and they support what he's saying.
Really problematic that when a company had been so synonymous with parents of young children, to yes, come out against the Parents' Rights Bill, but then to have those videos produced where they're doing that. And, you know, I'm just not comfortable having that type of agenda get special treatment in my state.
No,
I
not
just
at
can't
all.
do it. And so the bill here sets the marker that is going to go. Now, people will say they do have services, utilities. We're going to take care of all that. Don't worry. This is all, we have everything thought out. Don't let anyone tell you that somehow Disney's going to get a tax cut out of this. They're going to pay more taxes as a result of this.
And notice how he just, another cool thing about this, he just closed up whatever he had in front of him. He is doing this. He's freestyling right now, Ron DeSantis. He's just talking off the top of his head.
It's just, we really need to get away from this type of treatment that was really unlike anything we've ever seen. And so, I thought it was appropriate. I would have, signed this bill 3 years ago if it had come to my desk just on basic principles. But I think that partnership that developed early on with Walt Disney, I don't think Walt would appreciate what's going on in this company right now. I'm
That's
sorry.
right.
And so I think it's appropriate to sign that here today. We also did sign the congressional reapportionment in Tallahassee earlier today, so that's going to be transmitted. But these are the bills: the Stop Woke, which passed during the regular session, and then the theme park carve-out from our big tech bill, and the special districts bill. We're going to put our John Hancocks on all of those right now.
Yeah. Now then I don't know what this woman back here is going salsa dancing. And they don't have his mic on, unfortunately, when he went back to sign the bill. So I'm just going to pull it down because they don't have his mic on, probably some Democrat. But this is absolutely amazing. And look at how this is how Washington should work, right? Here in Florida, we've got the great governor, Ron DeSantis. We've got a Republican Senate. We got a Republican House, right? Republicans want this Stop Woke thing signed in Florida. Republicans here in Florida want Disney to lose this self-governing status. There he is. He's signing away and he's going to give the pins away as he's doing it. I mean, it looks like he's president of the United States right now, doesn't it? And look at the kids. They love it. They love. Oh, that little boy's got. That little boy's. That's going to be a family heirloom. He just got the pin, and there it is, just like Trump. See, he's just like Trump. He holds it up just like Trump. Isn't that amazing? Oh man, Ron DeSantis, just like Trump. I love it. I love it. Have you seen anyone other than President Trump, when they sign a bill, hold it up? All right. But, this is amazing what happened. So, and look how fast it happened, right? Wednesday, the Florida State Senate passed the bill in the state Senate to take away Disney's municipality status. Thursday, because they have to send it to the House, Thursday, the House in Tallahassee passes it, and then on Friday you've got the governor, Ron DeSantis, signing it, and it's done. It's done. And that's how it should work in Washington, and it should have worked with President Trump. In his first 2 years, we controlled the House and the Senate, and we had him, and look what happened, right? These never-Trumper Paul Ryans and McConnells, they don't operate like this. And I'll tell you, a couple things about this with DeSantis. Notice there was no negotiation with Disney. I was expecting Bob Iger, who's the past president of Disney, to come to Florida and grovel and try to have a meeting with Ron DeSantis. That did not happen. And I think it didn't happen for a couple of reasons. Number one, I think this happened so fast that Disney was unable to even decide how they could respond to it, if they're going to respond to it. I've heard they're going to go to court or something. Yeah, good luck. But it happened so fast, they don't even have a response for it. Yeah, and the other reason is this: Ron DeSantis didn't want anything from Disney. Disney had nothing to offer Ron DeSantis that would get him not to sign this bill taking away their municipality, their city status, their self-governing status. And what? So a lot of people, I haven't heard anybody spell out what Ron DeSantis is doing. And I'll tell you what I think he's doing. And by the way, if you'd like to call in, we do take calls here on the stream. Let me put the call-in number in the chat. It's 561-453-0328. That's the call-in number, 561-453-0328. I'll pin it there to the top. If you'd like to call in about this, you're certainly welcome. So there's the number, and I just pinned it to the top to call in live. What Ron DeSantis is doing here is far beyond Disney. You know, Ron DeSantis, since he's been the governor of Florida, has been very vocal about these corporate leftists and all kinds of things. Like right now it's Twitter. He's going after Twitter with Elon Musk because Florida's pension plan, the state of Florida, is a major shareholder in Twitter. And because the board rejected that incredible offer, that generous offer of Elon Musk, he, as a major shareholder in Twitter, the state of Florida, he's going after him. So here's the thing. What does Ron DeSantis, what is this all about with Ron DeSantis? Here's what I think. This is about getting this country back under the control of the people as opposed to the big corporate donors. You know, the Democrats in particular don't give a damn what you think. You know, all these people, they're always protesting. They're here, they're there. Democrats only care about people that pay them big money, donors, big donors. And Disney has about 30 lobbyists in the capital of Florida. Tallahassee is the capital of Florida. They have about 30 lobbyists up there, and they were not able to stop this. Why? Because they're talking to the Democrats. They have no juice with the Republicans. And Ron DeSantis, he plans on being president of the United States. I believe he will be. He will be our second MAGA president. No doubt in my mind about that. I would like him to be President Trump's vice president in 2024. But this is a message he's sending. This is a message he's sending that when Ron DeSantis says something, he means it and he means business. And when he's president of the United States and he makes a statement, people are going to look back at what he did to Disney. And they're going to know that he means business. And this is amazing. And this is going to be the beginning of the end of wokeness. You know, we're being held hostage by this in this country. You got to the majority of people in America, in my opinion, are conservative, and I think that's a fact. I think most people are conservative. I think the liberal viewpoint. You know, I know you got New York and you got California, but that's not the whole damn country. The majority of people in America are conservative. It just seems as if more people are liberal than there are because the left control the media, the movies, the TV, you know, the news. They are on TV all day. So, you know, it seems like they have a lot more control than they do, or there's a lot more of them than there are. And they're a very vocal minority, but a minority, no doubt. And most people agree with us. Look at the way these kids reacted with our governor, Ron DeSantis, when he hit on the key points of that bill. They were excited. And these are kids, you know, they love Disney. You know, so this is really, this is a day like we've not seen in a long time. You know, and you know, I know sometimes it can get depressing when you see what's going on. You know, that we have no voice, we have no control. And then Ron DeSantis had his coming down the escalator moment yesterday. You know, he's done a lot of great things as governor. But what he did yesterday was such a bold and historic move. When have you ever seen? Now think about this. Now I want you to think about this. Trump is the exception to all these things. But when have you ever seen a governor? When have you ever seen a governor stand up to a major corporation that has a pretty large interest in their state and say, "You're not going to run this state"? The voters of Florida, the residents of Florida are going to run this state. Not some corporation. You may have a big business here in our state, but you're based on the other side of the country in California. When have you seen that ever happen before? All these politicians, all they've cared about are donors, the lobbyists. And the lobbyists are losing. See, this is the battle that President Trump is in right now with draining the swamp for the midterms. You know, the reason that these snakes like Kevin McCarthy are always trying to screw over President Trump is because Trump, like you saw with Ron DeSantis here, isn't owned by the donors that own them. They're not owned by anyone, and they're loyal to those of us who elect them. And, you know, this is Florida. This isn't Disney World, okay, the state of Florida. And, you know, Disney, they are guests here in Florida. Florida is governed by Floridians, not a bunch of wokesters in some executive boardroom out in California. And that's what he told him. I just thought that was just an amazing speech he gave yesterday, and I thought it was so exciting that it happened so quick. Now, this story here, I'm very suspect of. This is being widely reported, okay? And it's being widely reported that after that audio dropped of Kevin McCarthy conspiring with Liz Cheney to get the 25th Amendment invoked and to get Trump to resign and all this stuff on January 10th after the Capitol breach, what they're reporting now is that Trump called up Kevin McCarthy. I believe that. I think President Trump heard that audio for the first time with the rest of us when Rachel Maddow put it out there. But now they're telling us that they're still friends. I don't buy that crap. Now, this is in the Gateway Pundit. Trump reportedly spoke to McCarthy after secret audio was released, and here's what happened. A secret recording of Kevin McCarthy telling Liz Cheney he will recommend Trump resign. Hey there, hold on, caller, get right with you. Was released Thursday, and now they're saying that Trump is okay with Kevin McCarthy. Do you guys believe that? I don't believe that. I think he is more pissed at Kevin McCarthy than he's been pissed off at anyone in his life. Let me know what you guys think. Good morning. You're on the stream live. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
My name is Anthony. I'm calling from Central PA.
Central PA. Okay, what's up, Central PA?
Well, you know, I grew up in Florida, actually West Palm, and I know a lot about the politics there. And Ron DeSantis is just doing an amazing job. I mean, really good for a governor. But what I see is you have a lot of the local news that are reporting on the cost of living in Florida skyrocketing, and it's skyrocketing everywhere. It's not just in Florida, it's here in PA too. So they're using this against him, and they're saying, well, he's only focused on the culture wars, like the big, Channel 25 down there. And they're just using that, and they're claiming that the Democrats are going to be all, focused on the cost of living if they ever get in. I'll tell you what, if the Democrats ever get in, they're not going to do anything about the cost of living. We all know that. But it's a big problem that
the cost of living, everyone knows. Okay, what does Biden call it? Putin's price hike crap. Okay, this is what I know because I'm in Florida. Okay, I'm in Florida, and I'm in Palm Beach, Florida. Okay, every gas station I go to has one of two things on it other than high gas prices, right? It either is written on it, F Joe Biden, with the whole word, or it's got one of those stickers on it that said, I did this of Joe Biden. Every gas pump. Sometimes they have both of them on there. And this county, the county where Mar-a-Lago was located, is a Democrat county. So, of course, the governor's not being blamed for that. And the rents and things are extremely high. And I don't know how people afford it. I wouldn't be able to afford the rents in my own neighborhood that I own my house in right now, and I couldn't buy a house in my own neighborhood. I could not afford. I want you to think about this. I've lived in this house that my wife and I own our house where I'm standing right now. We've owned this house for 18 years. I could not afford to buy a house in my own neighborhood now because prices are so high. But what people in Florida understand is why that happened. The reason that prices to buy homes and to rent homes are so high in Florida is because of Governor Whitmer and Governor Cuomo and all these liberal nuts that have caused a mass migration to Florida from these blue states. And it's the capitalist system, supply and demand. There's a lot of people coming down here, and there's a somewhat of a housing shortage. I know what you're saying, that's somehow going to be blamed on Governor Ron DeSantis, that'll be as effective as Biden blaming Putin for national inflation. No one buys that crap.
I really hope so, because it's something that affects everyone. But I feel that the run, I don't think he's going to run in 2004. That's another thing they say. We can't elect him again as governor because he'll leave the office and he'll run 2004.
Who's saying that?
Nikki Fried is saying that.
Oh, Nikki Fried is the Democrat running against him.
Oh, I know, but you know who else?
Who cares what
that?
she says?
WPTV is also saying things like that.
You're talking about the local news in Florida, and I watch the local news. The local news is not owned locally. The local news is owned by big companies that are owned by the big media out of New York. So when you local news is no longer local news. It's not, it used to be in the old days, some guy would own a TV news station and he owned like a car dealership in town. That's just not the way it is. It's owned by the same people that own like CBS or ABC News nationally now. So you get a left-wing spin perspective on the local news.
It wasn't always like that, though. I used to be able
now.
to tune into this stuff, and I would get when I lived there, and I was younger, I was growing up, I would get like the local, what's going on. There was a car accident, or oh, hey, we had bad traffic today, stuff like that. Now it's all about, DeSantis is focused on the culture wars, and he's not focused on what's affecting us. He's more focused on banning books.
Well, he's not banning books. What books has he banned?
Well, they had. It's funny. They were saying that he was banning math books. Well,
no, he's not. He's not. No. The Florida Department of Education and the Florida Education Commission have turned down buying certain textbooks, but the governor of Florida, he's not involved in that. He hasn't banned books. They're just not buying some books to add to the schools. That's another division of the government. It's not him.
Well, they're saying it's him. I mean, and
now, of course they're going to say it's him. I'll give you an example. When Sarah Palin was running for vice president, right? They said that she banned books from the schools in Wasilla, Alaska, when she was mayor. Okay? And there were national news stories about this. Well, the mayor doesn't have any. That's the school board that oversees such things, not the mayor. Same thing in Florida. Ron DeSantis hasn't banned any books. The Florida Department of Education has turned down an offer to purchase certain textbooks. That's not banning books.
Well,
shouldn't you ban some books? Like there's a book that was popular in the 70s, right? It was called The Joy of Sex. Joy of Sex, which showed sexual positions. Now, would it be appropriate to have that in school, or should that book be banned from the schools, public schools?
Oh, absolutely banned.
Yeah, well, exactly.
Yeah, they had examples on the quote math books that DeSantis banned. I'm just reporting. I'm just saying
they're reporting lies. Some books should be banned from public schools. That's the way it is.
Well, the math problems, I looked at them and it was like, well, African Americans have a harder, it was something about the African Americans have a harder time in the U.S. What percentage of them are more susceptible to suicide? Stuff like that. I mean, it was, and it had like graphs, and white people were like all the way on, the richest and best and everything, and then everybody else.
I've got an article I'm going to go over on the very topic you brought up. I was going to do it later, but I'm going to do it in just a moment since you brought it up. But hey, listen, thanks for the call, and if you're new here, make sure you subscribe. All right.
All right. Thank you, Brian.
All right. Take care. Yeah, I was going to bring this up later, but let's just get into it now. This is from the Daily Mail. Revealed. The questions in Florida's 54 banned school math textbooks. Now, first off, these are not books that are banned, okay? They're making it sound as if Florida officials went into the schools and took books and banned them. Well, I'm here to tell you that banning books is not necessarily a bad thing, depending on what the book is, right? Exactly. What this was about purchasing new books. A textbook company presented books to the state of Florida to purchase, to add into the schools of Florida. And they said, no, we don't want those books. That's not banning books. That's refusing to buy books. But let me go through this story. Revealed the questions in Florida's 54 banned school math textbooks that have references to critical race theory. And one example shows a graph which measures racial prejudice. See, so this is a very interesting thing what they're doing. They're using statistics, word problems, and bar graphs and such to get critical race theory into mathematics, which is since we're talking about textbooks, these are textbook examples of propaganda and subliminal messaging is what they're doing here. The Florida Department of Education released 4 examples of banned, and again, these are not my words, I don't call it banned, they just refuse to buy them, material from the 54 math textbooks it rejected from its curriculum. See, what happens, these textbook companies have salesmen. So they come to Florida, they're selling their books, and the Education Commission looks over them, and they say, no, we don't want to buy these books. They didn't ban them. That's like if Apple comes and wants to sell iPads, and they say, no, we don't want iPads, we want tablets. Oh, they banned iPads. They banned iPads. No, that's not the case. But anyway, this is, the liberal media, so the word choice and everything is not mine. The Florida Department of Education released 4 examples of banned materials from the 54 math textbooks it rejected from its curriculum on Thursday, including one that shows a bar graph measuring racial prejudice. Now, again, remember, these are mathematic books. The State Department of Education had garnered criticism for tossing out 41% of the 132 math textbooks submitted for the next school year last week without listing the rejected books, more than half of which the agency said reference critical race theory, with the rest containing Common Core and social emotional learning. I've never heard of social emotional learning before. Have you? Of the lessons considered unacceptable in the state of Florida, Ron DeSantis' free Florida, was the use of bar graphs that measure levels of racial prejudice based on age and political identity and ask students to solve equations based on these findings. The graphs, which are taken from data from the Project Implicit Discrimination website, show that those 65 and older and who lean towards the conservative end of the political spectrum have the most racial bias. Ah, my goodness. Let me close out Simon Cowell down here. And here's an example. Let me see if I can pull this up. It says here, the bar graph shows the difference among age groups on the, and again, this is a math book that they were proposing, on the implicit association test that measures levels of racial prejudice. Higher scores indicate stronger biases. So those that are over the age of 65 are the most racist. Those that are over 55, they're here. Here is 45 to 54. This is insane that they have this in the... So, of course, they rejected these things. Of course. Look at this one. Here's another one. Adding and subtracting polynomials. What? This is a math problem in a math textbook. What? Me? Racist? More than 2 million people have tested their racial prejudice in an online version of the implicit association test. Most groups average scores between slight and moderate bias, but the differences among groups by age and political identification are intriguing. In this section's exercise set, exercises 103 and 104, you will be working with models that measure bias. And then they have, oh my goodness, I remember doing these in school. I don't think I could do these problems now, but I do remember doing them. And each module, S, represents the score of the implicit association test, indicating stronger bias. So these are the things they're doing. So this is a problem that's about racial bias. Again, this is math, and there's more that go into it. Of course, those were rejected and shouldn't be in there. And what are the main idea of these textbooks is pretty simple. All white people are racist. just some are more racist than others, right? All white people, all conservatives are racist. It's just a matter of which ones are more racist than the others. There's nowhere on these bar graphs that show that any white people are tolerant and accepting and not racist. This is really scary stuff, people. I got to tell you, it is very scary stuff, and it cannot be allowed. Cannot be allowed, and we've got Ron DeSantis stopping it. Now, if you would like to support all my content, which includes this YouTube channel, my podcast, the Steve Kane Radio Show, everything I do, go to mypillow.com, use our promo code Kane at checkout for incredible deals, and when you go there, you get an opportunity to save $10 off the deals that I'm going to tell you about right now. And Mother's Day is right around the corner. Just a great time to go to MyPillow and start shopping. $19.98 with our promo code Kane for the MyPillow itself. The regular price is $69.98. And, of course, I have that MyPillow, just $19.98. What a great deal. The MyPillow towels, I have these towels. We have the blue ones over here. These towels are out of this world. Anyone that has the MyPillow towels will tell you how great they are. They're amazing. The regular price, $79.98, just $39.99 with the promo code Kane. I'm standing over the price, but look at that, just $39.99 with our promo code KANE. Isn't that it's a great deal? Mom will love these on Mother's Day. And by the way, that pop-up screen, you save another $10 off these prices I'm sharing with you. The MyPillow My Slippers, these are just two of the styles. They have many different styles for both men and women, and many different colors, including pink. And I'm wearing my MyPillow My Slippers right now as I'm standing here talking to you. Just $69.99, which is 50% off the MyPillow My Slippers. It's an incredible deal. The MyPillow 2-inch mattress topper, 50% off with the promo code Kane at checkout, K-A-N-E. I have the mattress topper. It will change your life. And look at this. With the promo code Kane, you go to My Store TV specials. You can still use our promo code. Buy one, get one free on a bunch of products. So go and check that out as well. Support all of my content. Use the promo code Kane at checkout. All right, K-A-N-E for amazing savings. And support all the content that I put together. You know, this is just the way it is, okay, people? This is just the way it is. We are winning. They are losing. We are going to continue to win. And the left have lost touch with the pulse of the American people. I want to talk just a bit here, though, about the southern border, because what's going on at the southern border is the big southern strategy. And do you guys know what the southern strategy is? I mean, you look at that border, it's like it's completely open. And I've seen live video down there. We have never had people crossing in the numbers that are crossing right now. And there's many reasons why this is happening. But the main reason is Democrats have gotten into their mind that there's a reason why they're losing. And what do you think they've reasoned is their a reason for losing? You know what it is? Too many white people in this country. They believe, because you look at these math problems, white people are being racially stereotyped as being terrible things, right? Just terrible things. They have it in their textbooks. And you know what's scary about those textbooks that Florida rejected? They don't tell you what states adopted them, right? And what school districts adopted them. You know why they haven't done that? Why do you think the 54 mathematic textbooks that were rejected by Florida for Florida schools, why do you think they don't tell you what school districts and what states have them and bought them and accepted them? There's a reason why. You know why? They don't want the parents to know. They don't want the parents to know that these textbooks are in their schools. That's why. But these textbooks have a connection to the southern border. And the Democrats believe that what is holding them back more than anything else in the world is a simple thing: white people. And white people are being just demonized in just terrible ways by media, by news, by critical race theory. And the southern border is wide open because they want to make the country less white. The Democrats believe what is stopping them from having complete control over our society are white people. So if we demonize them, spread racial hate and prejudice about them, which they are having a lot of success doing, and we flood the country with as many non-white people as we can, 20 years, 30 years from now, white people will be out of the way, they'll be a minority, and we'll finally have control. This is, Rush Limbaugh talked about this all the time. All Democrats care about is one thing and one thing only. Power. Power, power, power. That's all they care about. Oh, man. I tell you, I'm jazzed up because Ron DeSantis. Now, a lot of people are talking about the CNN Plus app failing. This is Chris Wallace, who they're probably going to give Chris Wallace. Let me pull this up and see if I can share this with you. They're probably going to give Chris Wallace a show on regular CNN. But CNN Plus their failure. This is the beginning of the end of CNN as we've known it for decades now, okay? CNN, if these were the old people that were running CNN, all right? If this was the old guard, because remember, they got new management there, CNN Plus would continue to flourish for years and years to come, okay? And it was taken off because no one wanted to watch it. No one was watching it. It was a failure. What did they say? I heard 300 million they poured into that crap. But you know what? All the major liberal mainstream media is a financial failure. And what we're seeing at CNN is for the first time, I think, ever, that the mainstream liberal corporate media is being held to a profit standard like any other business. And this is just the first big change you are going to see at CNN. But so they brought Chris Wallace over there. And this guy is a real piece of crap. He's got, of course, I'm a Star Trek fan, a huge fan of William Shatner. And, this guy is a piece of, he's just a lowlife, okay? He's a lowlife, Chris Wallace. He's gotten by milking his daddy's name, right? Mike Wallace, 60 Minutes, famous guy. People liked him, and well-known, credible, 60 Minutes. And he's got the name, so he's gotten through life. And now what he does is he thinks he's doing something cute here. He's trying to go viral. And so he has these moments. He brings on people and tries to make them look bad so that he can get, promoted like he's a journalist. And he brings on William Shatner. And here's William Shatner. And he brings on William Shatner and tries to call him a guy who's in collusion with Russia. It's just a creep. Listen a little bit of this. This is lowlife Chris Wallace with the great William Shatner.
So now I'm going to ask an earnest, honest question, because there's a controversy that has been stirred up. You know what it's about.
No, I don't.
Yes, you do.
Yeah, here's the controversy. You suck, Chris Wallace. Nobody likes you. You're getting paid a lot of money to be on an app that no one's watching. That's the controversy, but he's giving Shatner a hard time.
That has been stirred up. You know what it's about.
No, I don't.
Yes, you do. You have a TV series called I Don't Understand. And it runs on RT America.
No, it doesn't.
Well, let me finish, and then I always say, let me ask the question, then you can answer.
Okay.
It ran on RT America until RT America was taken off the air because of Ukraine.
Right.
I understand. You didn't make it for RT America. It's part of a distribution deal.
That's correct.
Here's the question. Do you have any misgivings about the idea of appearing on a pro-Russian station, channel?
I was...
now let me tell you, I'm not going to go and play the rest of this smear against the great William Shatner by this lowlife. But so William Shatner has a new TV show, and it has worldwide distribution throughout the world, and RT TV, Russia Today TV, picked it up, which is now off the air and not carrying it. and he is accusing William Shatner of being a Putin puppet and a propagandist for Russia and war crimes in Ukraine because of this distribution deal that was made that he has nothing to do with, right? If you go back in time, here he is at low-life CNN. CNN was in league with Saddam Hussein during the first Gulf War. Do you guys remember this? Now, the common thinking is that Chris Wallace is, because CNN Plus has failed, that they're going to put him on regular CNN TV. And that, you know what? That may happen. That may happen temporarily. This failure of CNN Plus being ripped out of the App Store and taken off, okay, by the new management of CNN is the beginning of everything changing. You know, these people that think they're gods, you know, Don Lemon, Brian Stelter, and all the rest, they are all going to be gone. And the new owner, the new guy that's running CNN, I saw him on 2 interviews about 6 months ago. One was on Fox. Another one was on Newsmax. And he said his goal with CNN is to get CNN back in the business of reporting the news, which is something that they haven't done in a long damn time. They're all going to be gone. And, you know, this is going to affect, after CNN, the next group that's going to be affected by this is Fox. Because what's going to happen is CNN's not going to become conservative. It's going to make a transition to becoming real news, right? And what you're going to find as a viewer, when news is just news, they report news, they give you the facts, they give you the information, they don't give you a spin, and you decide, it's going to seem like it's conservative. It's not going to be conservative, the new CNN, when they're done with it. It's going to be fair and balanced news. Remember Fox used to say that? And it's going to sound conservative because you're so used to getting not just left-wing media bias, but you're getting the media deciding for you, right? That's what they do on Fox right now. And when this change finally goes through on CNN and they're totally revamped and gutted, which is going to happen, you're going to start to see some changes at Fox News Channel. You know, Fox News barely mentioned the Kevin McCarthy tape yesterday. I read a story on it. They ignored it all day yesterday. The Kevin McCarthy tape of him trying to, well, he was conspiring with Liz Cheney in treasonous activity to remove President Trump from office. And they covered that up on Fox News yesterday by not reporting. You know, media bias, okay? Media bias is not just someone giving their perspective. Most media, that's media bias. But most media bias is something you never see or realize. Media bias mainly is in the selection of the stories, what you report and what you don't report on. And that Kevin McCarthy tape should be top of the hour, top quarter and bottom of the hour news all day yesterday. That was shocking stuff, like we've never seen before. And without question, that should be all over the news. And they covered it up yesterday. That's media bias on Fox. Not reporting a story is bias in itself. Another one here that is really a scary thing we're in. This business with Marjorie Taylor Greene, right? Marjorie Taylor Greene. She's taken the stand because they're trying to keep her off the ballot. They're saying she's an insurrectionist. Now, I don't know everything, but I do know this, okay? I have no recollection of a sitting member of the United States Congress ever being taken to court to be taken off of a ballot. Have you ever seen anything like this before? I mean, what the hell kind of country are we in when Democrats take... Now, again, these aren't even candidates. I mean, a candidate technically. She's a sitting member of the United States House of Representatives. When have you ever seen a sitting member of Congress or any other federal office be taken to court by the opposition party to keep them off the ballot? This is historic in nature, and it's being done for one major reason. Do you know what it is? And they're doing the same thing to Madison Cawthorn, but why are they taking her to court saying she's an insurrectionist and trying to get her off the ballot? You know why they're doing this? They're trying to set a legal precedent so that they can keep Trump off the ballots in 2024. All right? They're going to go to they want to, if they can keep her off the ballot, if they can get a ruling in their favor, even a mild way on this with Marjorie Taylor Greene, they're going to use that to keep President Trump off the ballot in some states. And what they'll do, it'll start with the primaries. They're going to find, even in a Republican primary, they're going to find Democrat and some traitor Republican, Kevin McCarthy type governors who will say, you know what? President Trump took part in an insurrection. The federal law forbids that. He will not be on the ballot in our state. That's what they're going to try to do. It's going to fail. And then when it gets to the general election, they're going to try, the Democrats and the party establishment, to keep President Trump off the ballot in certain states during the general election, too, in 2024. That's what this is all about with Marjorie Taylor Greene. And make no mistake about it, these are slimy people. They did this with Lincoln. They kept Lincoln off the ballot in the Democrat states when he ran for office in 1860. And they're going to try to do that with President Trump. They are so terrified of people like Ron DeSantis and Donald Trump and Marjorie Taylor Greene because they're not bought and paid for by the corporate donors, Disney and others. You know, they're only loyal to what? The voters that elected them. And, oh yeah, Marjorie Taylor Greene was a rock star in court yesterday. If you have an opportunity, go back and watch all of that. The lawyer questioning her was very flustered and was a complete boob, and he looked like a fool. But she did very, very well. She's going to win this. Yesterday was a complete failure. The judge was pretty disgusted with the Democrat lawyer. But that's what these dirty Democrats are doing. Now, tonight, of course, I know what I'm doing tonight, and probably most of you are doing tonight. I'm going to be watching the Trump rally in Ohio. And, this is going to be a big one. And I'm really curious, is J.D. Vance going to come out on stage with President Trump? I would imagine this rally has a lot to do with J.D. Vance, since President Trump just endorsed him. And I don't know, this guy's a bit troubling, but Trump has endorsed him. But this is going to be a big rally tonight. And I really hope, if Trump, there's one thing that I want Trump to comment on. I really want him to comment on, and I know you guys do too. Kevin McCarthy's tape with Liz Cheney. Oh, man. You know, I think Kevin McCarthy should resign. I think he should immediately be removed from his leadership position in Congress. But I would love, love, love to hear President Trump lay into Kevin McCarthy. I don't know if that's going to happen. I don't know. I hope Kevin McCarthy's there so the people in the crowd can boo him. But Vance, I'm very suspicious. I don't trust Vance. I don't trust Vance. You know, people can change, okay? I'm not saying that people can't change. But what little I know about Vance, not just voting for Hillary, he's very in with the left coast California tech people and everything else. I do not trust Vance. I just don't trust this guy. I don't. But yeah, listen, Trump has his reasons. I'm not going to question Trump. I'm going to trust in Trump as I always do. But this is going to be a big rally tonight. And let's keep our fingers crossed that he talked. Do you guys want to hear him talk about the Kevin McCarthy tape? I want to hear him talk about the Kevin McCarthy tape. Hopefully he will. Now, if you're new to my channel, subscribe. You're going to love this channel. If you love Trump, you're going to love me. You're going to love my channel. You're going to love my content. And if you don't love Trump, you will if you watch me long enough. You'll find out you agree with Trump more than you realize if you're not already a humongous fan of the greatest president ever, Donald Trump. That's right. And everyone, please like the video. My name's Brian. I'm going to sign off for today, but we'll be watching the Trump rally tonight. And tomorrow, I'll do a live stream tomorrow morning. We will process tonight's rally in Ohio tomorrow morning right here on this channel. So make sure you're subscribed. You got the notification bell clicked, and you'll get a notification when I go live, and we can process the great rally from our great president tonight in Ohio. Don't forget, like the video before you go, guys. Again, my name's